Back when I was a graduate student and I started doing research on Spanish, I realized I didn't have the intuitions of a native speaker and likely never would. But by creating corpora of Spanish, and this is 25 years ago, even if I didn't have those intuitions, I could look at millions of words of native speakers and say, this is what's really going on.
You can learn pretty much anything about language through a corpus.
It gives you, or corpora, it gives you a lot of information really quickly.
They're really no harder to use than a Google search. If you just sit down at your computer, type in a word, you get immediate results.
The idea is that everything is accessible, easily accessible via the web. What we're trying to do is to search hundreds of millions of words, doing some pretty complex queries, not just words and phrases, but grammatical constructions and so on.
You can find out things about pronunciation if it were a pronunciation corpus. You can find out things about grammar or syntax or how words are used. You can find out how words are used incorrectly.
The corpora are used by just a wide range of people, from teachers and learners to linguists to historians, cultural historians, people interested in literary studies, lawyers, jurists, people who are just interested in language.
As an editor, the corpus helps validate what we're doing in our editing, and it also shows what the people are actually using in their speech and not just what some editing book says is correct.
Another tool that will revolutionize the study of law because it will add new perspectives on the interpretation of words in all of those settings. In addition, legal scholars will use corpus linguistics to gain additional insight into the study of law. And so I think corpus linguistics is going to completely change both the practice of law and legal scholarship.
I like to use the corpora because we can learn things from them that are beyond our human intuition. There are things that all of us know when we use language. We know these things subconsciously. But with the corpora, we can find out what we know subconsciously and bring it to our consciousness.
I'm fascinated by the question of how do societies and cultures change and why. And that's why I'm so interested in using corpora to look at historical linguistics, because it serves as a wonderful lens on societal and cultural change.
It really gives a life to our language. There's a lot of words that we take for granted in our language, but they came from someplace and they often come from a historical event, and I love history, so I love seeing how these words have a lot of life in them.
You can never learn everything from a single corpus. There's always more you can learn, and so that's why I use the corpora a lot.
One of the most satisfying things has been knowing that the corpora are being used by hundreds of thousands of people throughout the world for whom this is their connection to English. What they understand about English comes from what they find in the corpora, and knowing that their ability to progress professionally is tied in to the degree to which they acquire native sounding English, and that the tools I've created are helping to provide that resource. That's satisfying for me.